Hello students, welcome to today's online session. In our today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the architectures of distributed database management system. That is, architectures of distributed database management system. See, architecture means for what? The structure that we are going to implement while we are using the database management system. You know already what is the distributed database is. We will be having different kind of systems in a network. Every system will be having the database which is related to one another, and they are connected to what? Through the network. Through the network only they will be serving the clients who are requesting for the data. Okay, that we know, that we have seen already. If it is not, please watch the previous video so that you people can understand what is the architecture. Okay, now let me go for the architectures of distributed database management system. We do have three kinds of architectures for the distributed database management system. The first one that we are going to discuss is your client server architecture. See, whenever we are talking about the client and server architecture, you need to assume two systems which are acting like client and server. Means to say that the person who is requesting for the data will become the client. Okay, say suppose system 1 is the client and he is requesting for the data, and those who are providing the response, those who are providing the data, they will become server. Here the first system is client, second system is server. This we already discussed in the class. If you are having any doubts, just let me know so that we can clarify about the client and server architecture. Now when it comes to your distributed database management system, we will be using this client and server architecture as follows. A client and server architecture has number of clients, means to say that we will be having thousands, lakhs and crores of systems which are acting like clients and which are requesting for the data. But we do have few systems which acts like a server which will be providing the data to them. Okay, means to say that we may have number of systems who are requesting for the data, but in comparison with these clients, we will be having the servers in lesser numbers, so they can respond for those particular requests which are made by the clients. That is what the client and server architecture here it is. Okay, and then see, a client sends a request or a query. He may request the data, he may give the query to the servers, so that the server will be responding, so that the servers will be receiving the data from the database and it will be replying the clients. Means to say that if this is a system, if this is the server, then he can request the data, and in response it will be providing the data, it will be giving the reply in the format of response. Okay, this is what the simplest architecture of your distributed database management system is. Okay, see the last point. The client server architecture is simple to implement and execute due to the centralized server system. As we have said already, server is a simple kind of system where you people will be acting like a single system, and it will be having the database which have been stored in this particular points. Okay, now let me go for a picture where you people can understand this client and server architecture in the most easiest manner. Okay, now I'll go for this picture. See this, in this picture you people can observe that we are having two clients and we are having single server. Just imagine, you people can have lakhs of systems or crores of systems which are acting like a clients and which are requesting for the data through the communication network, and there will be few servers. See here, every system will not be acting like a server. Okay, few systems are there which will be acting like a server, and each and every server will be responding to the client's request, as we have discussed earlier. That's it. That is about your clients and server architecture. Now we will go for the second one. The second kind of architecture that we are having is collaborating server architecture. What it is? Collaborating server architecture. Okay, see this. In this we are having typical information that you need to remember, that is, it is designed in such a way that every single query, whatever the query that you are sending for the server, every single query will be sent to multiple servers. See, as I said, you people, we will be having a few servers now. Those few servers will be receiving this single query. It will be taking a query and it will be sent to multiple users, multiple servers, I can say. Okay, multiple servers, and those multiple servers process this particular query, and when I'm going for the next point, just observe this. It breaks down the single query. Means to say that, say suppose if you are having a large number of, or else large number, or else you can say large kind of query, where you people will be having subquery, within the subquery you people will be having query. We have seen the topic called nested query, like that. If you are having a large kind of query, then it will be broken down, into pieces, and it will be given to multiple servers, so that they can execute them individually, and they will combine the data. They will combine the data in order to provide you the information as a result. Okay, that is what the thing is. In a collaborative system, why we are calling that as a collaborative is, we will be dividing the query, but we won't divide the result. Multiple servers will be processing onto the query, and result will be one which will be provided for the clients. And collaborative server architecture has a collection of database server. As I already told you people, there will be number of servers which will be acting like there will be few servers which will be acting like clients, as well as the servers. They are available in your network. They will be providing you the response, but in between what happens, you see, in case of your collaborative services, first of all we will be seeing the system from the client end. See, client will be requesting for the data, or else he will be requesting for any kind of operation. Servers will be receiving it. At the server, you people will be performing all these operations. The first operation that we could do is receiving the query. You people will be receiving the query from the clients first, and then you people will be dividing the query into pieces, and this divided query will be run onto the local servers. Means to say that every server will be there in a network. Every server will be executing its own data onto the local servers. And if it is possible, if it is needed, we will be optimizing the queries. If not, we will be combining all these local server results into a single result, which will be provided as a response for your client. This is how we will be using the collaborative server architecture. I hope it is clear to you people. If not, just go back and listen it once. You people will be understanding them easily. Okay, so I'll go for the next one without doing late. Okay, now I'll go for the next topic. Next topic is that we will be having one more kind of architecture, which is a middleware architecture. In this middleware architecture, what we are going to do is, as we have done in the collaborative architecture, we will be dividing a single query to execute on the multiple servers. Okay, before this we have divided the query and we have sent it to multiple servers actually, but in this case a single query will be executed on multiple servers. We are not dividing the single query, we are executing a single query by what? Multiple servers. This system needs only one server which is having a capability of managing the queries. This is what the thing is. This is what the major difference comes for your collaborative service and middleware architecture. Okay, you need to understand the things in an easiest manner. For that reason, I'll be drawing a picture. See here, we'll be having a single query. Which will be sent to what? Multiple servers. Every server will be executing this, but we will be selecting the server which will be having the capacity to execute this particular query, and in turn it will be giving the result as a response to your client. Simple. Okay, you will be having a client, you will be having a server, and you people will be giving the response as it is capable. If not, we will be providing that to what? Two different servers. Okay, and see, when I'm going for the next point is that the middleware architecture uses what? Local servers. Why? Because we'll be having different kind of servers in the network, so that they can handle a local queries. This is what your middleware architecture is. Okay, Seema, it is an important topic to understand by you people. Why? Because it will be having different kind of architecture in the market. We'll be using them. Okay, in our sessions we have discussed only 3 kind of architectures that are available for your distributed databases. Okay, I hope you people are familiar and you people have understood this particular distributed database management system. If not, just message me so that we could go for one more class onto this. If it is okay, then please make a note of all these things by pausing the video. That's it for now. Thank you.